Hello everyone. I haven't been to cinema for a while to see a movie. The last one I saw was The Wolverine, but today I saw two new movies and I'm going to review them both today. So first one I saw was Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa, which takes Steve Coogan's most famous creation and puts him onto the big screen. But does this turn out to be a good idea, or does it turn out like recent other TV to movie character adaptations? Let's find out. Here's my review of Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa. Okay, so Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa, of course stars Steve Coogan in the lead role. This movie has been rumoured for a few years now to be coming out, and people thought, maybe it won't come out now because it's been rumoured for so long. And it was rumoured that Alan would be going to America, which I'm really glad they didn't do, because this is very much a British film, and it's very much set in Britain. And I'm glad the movie, I thought, maybe they're taking it a bit far, having sort of Alan become an action hero or whatever. But no, it actually really worked, and it was a really good step from TV to big screen. And did it take the route that Keith Lemon the film took? No, this one was actually really funny, and it was one of the best comedies of the year. And Steve Coogan plays his role as Alan really great again, as he did in the TV series. I only recently really watched a couple of his shows. I had never really heard of Alan Partridge before I saw the trailer for this movie. But yeah, I knew who Steve Coogan was, and I knew he was a hilarious guy, and I'd seen movies with him in before and TV shows with him before, so I knew that this movie wouldn't be terrible. But after the big disappointment of Keith Lemon the film last year, I know I keep talking about Keith Lemon the film, but I'm sort of contrasting it to Alan Partridge. With the big disappointment of Keith Lemon the film last year, because I expected Keith Lemon the film to be a funny film, at least, expect a few funny laughs and at least a bit of a story. But no, it didn't want to do that. It wanted to just be a big mess and crap all over the character of Keith Lemon. And it even had a funny trailer, but the funny parts in the trailer weren't funny in the movie, which is never a good thing. But the funny parts in the trailer of Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa are still funny in the movie when you've seen the trailer, and there's more funny parts than just that. There are some really hilarious scenes. So the plot basically centres around Alan Partridge and Pat Farrell, who are the senior DJs at Norwich Radio, and that it's being taken over, and one of them is going to get fired, either Alan Partridge or Pat. So Alan wants to stay, and he decides he'll get Pat fired, but with good intentions really. But this is Alan Partridge we're talking about. So he gets Pat fired, and Pat doesn't know that he's the one that's got him fired. And there's a party later on that night, and Pat turns up with a shotgun and takes members of Norwich Radio hostage. And yeah, so the police turn up, and Pat basically says that Alan is the only person that he will talk to. So Alan has to go in to the seige and communicate with Pat and get him to communicate with him to the police. Sound complicated? It's not really that complicated when you think about it. But yeah, and there is some real comedy gold in this movie, and some parts of it are even very unexpected, which you can't you don't normally expect that from a TV character to big screen movie. But some parts you won't expect, and the jokes they're not just recuts of the ones that were used on the show. They weren't just stupid things. They were really, really funny. And Cole Meany was really good in this movie as Pat. So yeah, there are also some good supporting characters in it. Lynn, the secretary, is back in this movie, and there's some good good chemistry still between her and Steve Coogan as Alan, and they work really well together. So yeah. I'm hoping that the Harry Hill movie, which is set to be released either this year or next year, I'm not sure. I think it might be late this year or early next year. It's very it's quite close to now. So I'm hoping that that will take the route of Alan Partridge. But I don't know. I'm quite I'm not that excited for the Harry Hill movie because I don't think it will turn out to be great, to be honest. I don't think it'll be like Alan Partridge, but I still don't think it'll be as bad as Keith Lemon the film, because Keith Lemon the film was one of the worst movies of last year, and maybe one of the worst movies of all time. That might be taking it a bit far, but it was pretty damn bad. Anyway, so Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa, you will really enjoy it. If you're a fan of Alan Partridge, or a fan of Steve Coogan's, or just a fan of good comedy in general, and you want to see a really funny comedy this summer, I'll recommend going to see this movie. I'm not sure when it's going to be released in the USA, but it's in the UK now. It's been out for about a week now, I think. But yeah, I only just saw it today. So yeah, if you want to see a great comedy, see this movie. It's not the best comedy of the summer, but it's one of the best of the summer. I would say it's probably in the top 5 comedies of the summer. So yeah, I think you will really enjoy it if you're a comedy fan. But if you want a more serious movie, don't go into this movie expecting anything serious at all, and don't go in expecting a really complex plot, because you won't get that. But if you're just wanting a good time, you will get that with this movie. And if you don't set your expectations too high like you did with Keith Lemon the film, I know I keep mentioning that one, you will love this movie. But even if you have high expectations for it, those expectations will probably be exceeded. So go and see this movie when you can. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. And, of course, a thumbs up, especially to Steve Coogan's performance, which, great. Anyway, this was quite a short review compared to some of my other ones, but I hope you enjoy this, and thank you, as always, thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and of course, you can still go to our Facebook page, the link is on the channel. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.